Continue our coverage of Wizards Media Day here on YouTube 106.7 The Fan, and the Team 980 and Corey Kispert is with us now. Why are you carrying around a basketball all day?
It makes me feel comfortable. I don't know. It's like home for me. And it's media day. There's a lot of cameras, a lot of flashing lights, and I want to bring a little piece of home with you.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, I dig it. I'm almost a little sad that the basketball's on the ground. There you go. Now I feel better.
Back where it belongs.
Yeah, we got to hold it. We got to make sure that you're comfortable.
Thank you.
You also got married this offseason.
Sure did.
Congratulations.
Thank
Where
you.
was the wedding?
The wedding was in Southern California, and then we went to Europe for the honeymoon.
Love that. Where in Europe?
We did Croatia and Greece.
Oh, that's very high on the list.
Big time.
Might also come up in a later question.
Okay.
We're doing some vacation questions. And ironically, as we kind of piece all of that together, not intentional, it just kind of happened. Do you remember last year when we sat down and I accidentally asked you about a golf trip that you never went on?
Yeah, I do. And did I play along?
You did. You did. You were great.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But it was ironically about my wedding, which had been in Scotland, and I saw a tweet that you had been in Scottsdale, and I misread it, and then it was like right before the interview, and so we got all that. So now here, your wedding this summer, we just come full circle.
Yes.
How is the golf game though?
The golf game is still tight. Playing a lot, especially in the summers. And then, the grind doesn't really stop during the season, too. So any chance I can get out there and swing the sticks, I will.
And do you have a favorite golf trip from the summer?
Golf trip this summer. I didn't bring the clubs in the honeymoon. Didn't get the clearance for that.
Okay.
But I had a bunch of friends over. I live in Arizona in the off season. Had a bunch of friends over, like right as the season was over, and we played, I think 4 rounds in 4 days, maybe 4 rounds in 3 days. The
PGA Tour style grind?
Yeah, it was a grind. It was.
Yeah.
A lot of sympathy for those guys now.
Yeah. I mean, it is tough, but also, like, if you're just out there playing golf, no pressure. You're not trying to earn your living.
No, life's easy. Life's easy.
All right, so to the basketball. And I've been wanting to talk to you since you gave your season-ending press conference last year. I'm sure you've been asked about these comments a lot today, but I think you did such a great job of identifying one of the main issues, if not the main issue with the team last year. Like, you guys just did not have an identity for how you were going to play night to night. As you've seen this team start to come together and you've had an offseason to reflect how you fit into that identity, how do you kind of put the season in perspective and what you're trying to do through that lens? Yeah,
that's a difficult question. And I mean, like I said in the postseason interview, like identity is about doing like the small things every single day. And it gets really hard, like the days kind of blur together in December and January, and you're in certain cities and you don't remember where you are when you wake up. Things like that makes it really hard to be consistent. And the goal of this team is to like stack each day and win each day. We're going to be fun. We're going to be competitive. We're going to play fast. All things that I think I can do really, really well. And from what we've talked about as a team, I know we're only a week and a half in. Training camp starts tomorrow. It's going to be a really fun team. I think we're going to have a very strong identity, and we're going to be able to kind of be a really fun watch for people because of that.
So when you talk about that style of play, like, does it change your off season at all, from conditioning, from like what shots you're taking? Like, obviously you want to get better, you want to develop, round out your skill set, but like when you have a clearer vision of where you fit in something going into it, how does that change your off season? Yeah,
it kind of shifts the target a little bit, right? You get a clear picture of what you're going to be doing in the season coming, and you know what to work on. And so for me, my work this summer was super focused, and it was really precise, and getting better at things I knew I was going to do in games and how I could, best help this team win and help this team develop. So you're exactly right. You hit it right on the head.
One of the fan questions I got on Twitter that I thought was a good one specifically for you is, like, people know you're a great shooter, obviously, but people started to realize, like, oh, he's a great cutter as well. Is there like another nuanced part of your game that you hope you get a little more recognition for?
Yeah. I mean, I hope I get recognized. People say I'm a sneaky athlete. Of course, right? And we're gonna read between the lines on that one, but
we don't have to. Like yesterday, this is like related. Yesterday during the Commanders-Eagles game, the play-by-play or the color commentator called Sam Howell sneaky athletic like 7 times. It's like, yeah, he's a white quarterback that can run. Like, we got it. He's sneaky athletic.
Yeah, and I've been hit with that as well, and I'm hoping to prove people that I'm just like plain athletic this year.
You're just gonna catch some bodies,
dunk some balls. It's gonna be good.
I love that. That's good. He's not sneaky athletic, everybody. He's just athletic. Corey Kispert.
Thank you.
how were your initial meeting? Actually, before we even get to talking to Michael and to Will about the identity piece, and I think a lot of the stuff that you talked about was kind of how they came in, probably before they even were aware of those comments. But how were those comments received internally by specifically Wes when you were talking with him? Because I'm sure you said that internally before you said it externally.
Yeah, of course. And gave it a chance to breathe a little bit after the season was over, and then said what I said. And I got nothing but positive feedback from them as well. They want us to be an active participant in this locker room. They want us to share our opinion and voice our concerns. And that's a product of a healthy environment. And that's going to be, a staple for us going forward. As long as you handle it professionally and respectfully, they want to hear your opinion. And, as I progress, and even though it's only 3 years, I'm like the second longest tenured guy here now, or one of the longest tenured guys, my voice carries more weight. And I have the ability to kind of share that with others now, rather than just being a leader by example.
I was like, do you see yourself as a leader on this team?
100%. And it was hard the first 2 years because I have come from leadership positions to kind of take more of a backseat with guys that are, bigger and more established in the league and on this team than me. And there's still guys who are more established in the league on this year's team as well. But just kind of being in the locker room and showing what I have and the work I've put in kind of buys you more voice amongst the players.
I'm going to preface this question by saying I'm not asking this in a way to set you up to take a shot at Brad. So nobody take this out of context. But you mentioned the tenure, and when the guy's got that much tenure and he leaves, there's a big amount of space to be filled. So, how much of it is a byproduct of the roster construction now and his absence, where he's been the face of the franchise and all of that, and an ability to fill that space?
Yeah, and even if you were setting me up, I would never take a shot at Brad.
Yeah.
He's amazing, and I have nothing but positive things to say about him. But he's not here anymore on this team. And everything about this team, from the changes we made in the front office to the coaching staff to the roster, and even the way that our organization runs internally, is all fresh and it's all new, and it's designed to be that way. So there's going to be new faces stepping up and leading. There's going to be trial and error, and guys are going to be kind of trying their hand at different roles, and we're going to see what sticks.
Who are some of the guys that you've clicked with, new roster guys already?
I like JP a lot. He brings a fresh energy into this locker room, something that we really needed. He comes in and he works really, really hard, and you can tell that he's learned a ton from his time in Golden State about those guys and what it takes to win at a high level. And while he carries himself with a enthusiasm that's really contagious, he cares deeply about what he does.
Do you ask him, or have you asked him anything about, just pure shooting stuff, considering he was at Steph Curry camp for as many years?
He was. Yeah, honestly, I've been knocking on the door 90% from the line for a while, for my first 2 years, and he's had that while I haven't. So it's been a lot of free throw conversations between us. Gotcha.
It's a free throw. Can I ask you what the tips have been? It's a free throw. There's no defense. It's not like they can stop you.
It's a mental game from the line. You got to do the same thing every single time and commit to the shot you want to shoot. But he and I are going to be shooting free throws a lot after practice.
Love that. All right. So when you have the conversations with Dawkins and Winger, when they get in here, what are those conversations like?
They're immediately transparent with us. They wanted to let us know that they're going to put us first, try to build a winning environment and a culture that isn't just going to last this year. It's going to last years to come. They want to run a first-class organization, a tight ship, and they've been super communicative with us and honest and leveling with us on every level. So it's been super positive with those guys, and I expect the same going forward. These guys know how to win. They know how to run an organization, and it's clear from day one.
Speaking of great shooters, Cam Johnson and JJ Redick were talking about you and a bunch of other great shooters on the podcast. What did it mean to you to be on JJ's podcast? What did it mean to you to be in that conversation with guys of that caliber, and especially JJ, the guy who's a legend as a shooter in the league?
Yeah, well,
being like, hey, I see you, Corey Kispert.
Yeah, no, I've had a couple conversations with JJ in the past, and he's a really good dude, and he knows his stuff. A lot of guys that run podcasts think they know stuff, but he's been there, he's done that across the board.
It's me, the guy who has a podcast. Hey, at least I have a radio show too.
You're multifaceted.
There we go.
But JJ he knows what he's talking about, and they kind of get that credit from him as special. And he notices the way I move off the ball, and not a lot of people are trained to see that. So from a guy that's been there and done that like him, to kind of see the impact that stuff has in the game, it's cool. It's really cool.
Do you have any interest in doing the media stuff eventually?
Yeah, a little bit for sure. Okay. Yeah,
I can see you doing it.
Yeah,
you talk about the game very well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Definitely during my playing career, it's gonna be much harder, until I get older. But post career, we'll see.
Okay, just curious. All right, let's get you started right now with one prognostication. Who do you got in the WNBA finals?
One prognostication. You know what? I'm gonna go with Courtney Vandersloot and the New York Liberty.
All right, that's another Liberty
Gonzaga.
vote.
Gonzaga connection.
All right, going with the personal one. Okay, that's fair enough. All right, and then last but not least, because we're a Hokie Sports Radio show and we can't come up with a better title, we're doing what we're calling our Whiz Quiz.
Okay.
So our Whiz Quiz, your favorite vacation that you've been on ever?
Yeah, we did talk about it before we got on the air. It was the honeymoon. Croatia and Greece. I'm a big Game of Thrones guy. Watched the show a couple different times. So being in Croatia and Dubrovnik was amazing for me. And then I was a beach bum in Greece and we never left the beach.
All right. What's the place that you haven't gone on vacation yet that you want to?
I really want to go. I mean, it's no secret also. We talked about it. I'm a golf guy.
Yeah.
And you had your wedding in Scotland.
I did.
And I am very jealous of you for that. I want to go to the UK, travel up to Scotland, play a bunch of golf, and drink a bunch of recovery Guinnesses. It's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, I feel like you have a great name in a Scottish accent.
Corey Kispert.
Yeah, Corey Kispert.
Yeah, Corey Kispert.
Yeah, they just call me Craig during the wedding, and now my wife occasionally around the house is like Craig. That's gonna wind up on Instagram.
Oh,
okay, teammate. Or actually, sorry, missed one. Your coffee order.
Iced Americano with a little almond milk. Extra shot of espresso.
Nice. Okay, so we're getting caffeinated.
Yeah, I get very caffeinated.
Yeah, but you're what? You're like 6'5", 6'6"?
6'7".
6'7"?
Yeah, 6'7". And
sorry, I'm rusty on my heights. That's not me like looking at you walking over here being like, that guy shrunk.
Well, I am from Seattle, and I think if you cut me, coffee would bleed out of me. So.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not going to do that for
for
the record.
Yeah,
teammate that you trust the most to drive on a road trip?
Anthony Gill's very responsible.
Teammate you trust at least to drive on a road trip?
Denny Avdia.
Yep.
Not responsible.
Yep. Best and worst on the aux in the locker room?
Best, I would say JP has been really good. Small sample size, but he's been really good. And then worst, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus today. We've had some good stuff in the locker room lately.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We've been told the correct answer is Denny, but that's fine. We got one last one. One shot on the court anywhere outside the paint for $1,000. Where are you spotting up?
I'm gonna go from the left corner.
Okay.
If you're facing the hoop, left corner, for 3.
All right. You'll have company there. That's also Tyus' spot. So there you go. Corey Kispert. Appreciate it. Thank you.